All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome back. This is the second piece, part two, in our series on lines and volume. And I'm glad you're back. It's very important that you're here because look at this. We have a new pair of lines. Now, before I showed you lines that looked kind of like this, they crossed each other. Those were called intersecting lines. But what about lines that don't touch? And that look like they'll never touch. What do I mean by look like they'll never touch? Well, imagine that these arrows meant that these lines keep on shooting. They go forever. And if they keep going straight the way they are, then these lines will never ever touch. They'll just continue going forward without ever crossing paths. Lines that will never cross are called parallel lines. Parallel? Yeah, parallel lines. Parallel lines. Remember that. Say it with me. Parallel lines. Lines that do cross are intersecting lines. Intersecting. Intersecting. Lines that don't cross, like these over here, and look like they'll never cross because they'll never crash into each other, those are parallel lines. All right? You got that? You with me? Let's move on. Now, before I gave you a multiple choice question that had three options for circles. One option was chord. You know what? I'm going to type it. How about that? I'm going to type it. One option was chord. One option was radius. And one option was diameter. Now, I told you that chord was not a very special line. It just touched one part of the circle and then went to the other part of the circle. As you can see, that's not happening here. It touches one part of the circle, but then stops in the middle. It's like a halfway line. Halfway lines are not chords. But you know what they are? Radius. This is known as the radius. Halfway line radius. Halfway line radius. Hey! Halfway line radius. Touches the middle, goes halfway through the circle. You got it? Good. Let's move on. I also talked about shapes with you. How are these figures related? Remember the definitions. Congruent means they are exactly the same. Same size, same shape. Color doesn't matter. But same size and same shape do matter. Similar, that means they're the same shape, like, two of the same circles or triangles or squares or whatever. But one's bigger than the other or smaller than the other. They're not exactly the same size. And then maybe you think they're not either of those. Like they're not the same size, they're not the same shape, they're not the same, they're nothing. All right, they're nothing. Well, check it out. Check it out. These are squares, and they're both the same size. The only difference is this one's like tilted over a little bit, like it's like losing its balance or something. Don't let that trick you. They are still the same size and the same shape. You always want to see if they're the same shape first, and then see if they're the same size. And if they're both of those, well, guess what? You are congruent, identical, the same. Let's move on. Oh, we've got another volume problem. Do you remember how to solve for volume? Do you? It's kind of like area, a little trickier though. You have to multiply all three dimensions, all three different kind of sides that you see. They give you three numbers, a 7 here, a 7 there, and a 7 going up. So let's multiply. Let's do 7 times 7 first. What is 7 times 7? Times tables, guys, come on! 49. But you're not done yet. You have to take that answer and multiply it by that final number, in this case, another 7. 49 times 7, let's get it. Here we go. 7 times 9, times tables. 63. Carry the 6. 7 times 4 times tables, 28. Plus the 6, that gets you 34 for a final total of 343. But in order for this to be a final answer, we have to put our measurement, our feet. And while in area, we would put a little 2 for squared. In volume, you put a little 3 for cubed. Think about it this way. In area, you only multiply 2 things, so you put a little 2. But in volume, you multiply 1, 2, 3 things, so you put a little 3. Alright, here's your pop guide. Check it out. So this is asking you which shows that line CD is parallel, that's what that symbol means, parallel, to line EF. So look at these two choices. One choice here and one choice here. Which one's the parallel choice? Come on, you have to remember this. Come on, parallel lines are lines that what? Rewind the video if you remember, I'm not telling you. Oh, and what was the name for a line that starts and only goes halfway and ends in the middle in a circle? That has a special name too. I'm not reminding you, you have to figure. Oh, and what's it called when shapes are the same and also the same size? I'm not telling you, you gotta tell me. And last but not least, what is the volume of this rectangular prism? Can you tell me? Can you find out? Just some quick practice, guys. Do your best. If you don't know how to answer these questions, guess what? You gotta rewind the video and double check some stuff. Good luck with that, and I'll see you for our final part 3 in this series. Watching all parts will give you a better, complete understanding. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.